You're listening to Chicago Stories, a podcast from City Hall featuring the stories of everyday Chicagoans, as told to Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
This is Mayor Rahm Emanuel on Chicago Stories. We're joined by Denise Sauriol, who's a passionate Chicago marathoner, and you run for change.
Yes.
What's Run for Change?
Shortly after I survived a near-fatal accident on my way to a race, I felt like there was a reason why I survived that accident, and I had been running since the 4th grade. Well, once I survived that accident...
Running since the 4th grade?
Yes, and I still love it. It's still my BFF.
What happened?
So just at a 30,000 foot level, I've been running since I was little, and I even ran in high school. And people that were good in high school, even at my age now, they still know their times. I have no idea how, what my times were. I wasn't very good. And then fast forward, 1993, my older sister did the Chicago Marathon. And I always thought the people that did a marathon were people that competed at the state level in high school, or they got a scholarship, not someone in the back of a cross-country team. So when my sister did the marathon, she turned what I thought was superhuman human. And so the following year, 1994, I did the marathon, and it changed my life. And just like the runners that I coach and my friends that do their first, we get through it, and then we say, oh, that wasn't so bad. I got to do that again. I got to get faster. So I did a couple more on my own, and then I ended up meeting a coach in a running group, and he got me crazy fast.
Can I ask what crazy fast is?
So my first one was a 4:28 marathon.
4:28.
In about 8 years, he got me to a 3:15.
Oh, it cut a little off of
that. But I became just very focused on the destination instead of the journey. So fast forward to August 16th, 2009, I was running about 60 to 70 miles a week. If I didn't hit a PR at a race, I'd beat myself up. If I missed a workout, I'd beat myself up. So my whole focus was my times in my races. So I'm running to Central Park to do a half marathon, to set a PR, of course, and I got hit by a car, and I flew on the hood and shattered the windshield with my body and bounced off the hood, landed in front of the street, and so that became my rebirth day. I broke 5 vertebrae. I didn't need surgery. You
did or did not?
I didn't.
Okay.
I just had to wear a back brace. So after the accident, my friends and family, they kept asking me, aren't you going crazy not running? And I said, the fact I can walk, talk, and breathe is all that matters. And even my doctor at the time, my orthopedic, he said, Denise, you'll get faster. And I still don't care about getting faster. So sorry, it's a long story to get there, but after the accident, once I was mentally and physically stable, I felt like there was a reason why I survived that accident. And that's when I started coaching.
Can I ask you a question? Since I was once in the hospital bed, I know I'm interrupting, and I apologize. Did you have this it's not a one moment, because I always try to tell people my own instance in the hospital, I nearly died, that there's a moment you're in that hospital where it all kind of makes sense, and you made a conversion, so to say, where you have a purpose. If you get out of that bed, that's what you're going to do. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, definitely.
You don't have to agree with me just because you're on my podcast. You
No.
disagree.
I don't know at what point it was from August 16, 2009 on. Once I was mentally and physically stable, I knew I wanted to give back to running for what it had given to me.
You train now elderly people for their first marathon? I've heard there was an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, Marathon Max.
Yeah.
So last year...
Does everybody get a nickname? Do I get a nickname at the end of this?
Yeah. Well, no, when you're ready to do your first marathon, I'll have...
At 80 years old? Yeah,
no,
you
don't have to wait that long.
I do triathlons, sprints.
I know.
That's my deal. But go ahead, Marathon Max. What do you do?
Yeah, so I started coaching in 2010, a year later, and actually, Run for Change. When I came up with my coaching business, I thought a lot about the Chicago Marathon. There's so many first-timers that are running for charity.
Right.
So Run for Change, the tagline is change within, change for others. So they're running for other people, and it's also changing them. So that's where Run for Change came from. So I had been coaching since 2010, and I work with non-charity runners and charity runners. And whenever one of my charity coordinators has a runner who's signed up and freaked out, or they are on the fence, I have them share their email information with me, and then I reach out to them and talk them back on the treadmill, so to speak. So last year, I got an email from Kate at Chicago Lights, that's Fourth Presbyterian's outreach program, and she forwards me an email about Max that said he's 80 at the time, and he wants to do the marathon.
You got to be kidding me.
And I said, this is not email worthy. I'm like, I want to meet this guy. And he, even in his email, he said, I'm not sure. I'm a jogger. I've been jogging all my life. And the thing is with coaching, I feel like anyone can learn the science of writing plans and nutrition and gear, but you can't coach somebody grit and wanting to do something. The hunger to achieve something, you can't coach that. So whether someone is 8 or 100, if they want it, I'm going to run with it.
Max ran a marathon?
So last year, Max and I ran the marathon together.
Together?
Yes. I wore a shirt that said,
"We got
Go
the wrong
Max,
person
go."
for this podcast. I want Max next time.
Well, we're doing it again.
Okay.
We're doing it again this year.
So what's the charity for the Presbyterian Church?
Their outreach program,
Okay, got it.
Chicago Lights.
What's the 5 things you tell somebody who's never run a marathon when you're training them? Or maybe 4, maybe 3, or maybe 5. What's the things that you tell whoever the client is, this is what you got to remember?
So whenever I meet
If
someone,
they don't have Denise training them, what's like the cheat sheet?
I tell them not to think about 0 to 26.2 right away. I have an analogy that it's just like taking a class in college.
Okay.
You get a syllabus, you do your homework, the race day's the final, and you can get a D and you're still a marathoner. So you wouldn't take a class in Mandarin.
I found the first class I can get in, I can succeed in. You get a D, you still pass the
You're
test.
still a marathoner. Yeah.
Okay, that's number 1 rule. Number 2?
Draw on other things that you've done in your life that you didn't think you could do and you wanted really bad, and just draw on the drive and the courage you had then, and you will get through this.
Okay. Is there a third kind of lesson?
If you want additional incentive to do a marathon to keep you accountable, find a charity that's near and dear to your heart, because that's going to help you get out the door. And it'll help you in the latter miles of the marathon when it actually starts.
Actually, is there anything more? Because I got another question.
Well, I actually have 26 things.
Oh, 26 things. Let's book her for next week. Okay, we're going to book you for next week. No, where in the marathon do you find the heart? I hate to do this on the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur. The 2 to 4 o'clock afternoon thing is where all the no caffeine, you're beat. You're trying to make it, but by 4 o'clock you can see the goal to sunset. So when do you find that low moment, or is there more than one? Do you have like an 11-mile and a 22-mile low moment? I mean, or is it only, or you don't have any low moments?
No, I even with my 100th marathon coming up, October 7th, I still hit a wall.
Where?
For me, the wall is when
my
it
wall
switches.
is like on my first one. So where's your wall? Okay.
So my wall, it's just when the point where it becomes more mental than physical. And sometimes it'll hit me at 14, sometimes it'll hit me at 22. But I have little tricks to the trade for how to get through that.
Like?
So one thing I do when I hit the wall is I do this thing called the gratitude alphabet, and I share these tips with my...
Is this also 26 different things, or because alphabet?
It actually is.
Yeah.
So what I do...
I'm beginning to get worried about, what would you do without the number 26?
I don't know.
Go ahead. What is it?
So I do this thing called the gratitude alphabet, where I name people and experiences from my life for every letter of the alphabet, and then the why. And if I forget someone, I start over. If I get stuck, I start over. And
So just to ignore the pain.
Yeah, and then put you in a state of gratitude. And so I share that with my runners, because I feel like your brain can't be in a state of angst and gratitude at the same time. And before you know it, your feet follow your brain. And then also for my runners, I tell them to have their friends and family no sooner than mile 20. because that's about when the average time when the race really starts. And when you see your friends and family out on the course, until you go through with it, you just can't grasp it, but you light up on the inside, especially because, the start, it's so exciting. You're like in your own parade. And then it gets to a point where we got to earn that medal and the shirt. And when you see your friends and family, it's just, yeah.
So last year my son did the Chicago Marathon.
Zach.
Yeah, and then how do you know that?
I did some homework.
Oh, well. How many times? No cheating, and then he did the LA one.
Oh, he did a second one.
Yeah, no, he's training again.
Great.
I think he's got a half one coming up pretty soon.
When he did it last year, did he ever say he would do it again, or did he say, "Let me just get through this first one"?
I don't think he ran this. He can get on it. He should speak for himself. But I think he didn't run it. He ran it to prove and to train to have some discipline around something. And then I think he liked it enough that he decided to do the second one. He did it in LA, the second one, where he's at school. So
great.
Now you listen to music?
I do.
Would you have a favorite playlist then? Like give me the
I do.
Give me the 26 separate individual songs that you like, okay?
So I used to,
the Rolling Stone.
Before the accident,
Yeah.
I would race, and there were no junk miles. So I was always listening to dance music, fast beat, go, go, go.
Yeah.
And now I'm a mutt. I'll listen to anything. But if I am, like I just raced a marathon on Saturday, and
Where?
I requalified for Boston.
Really?
So I had Bob Sinclair on. I had some dance music on, yeah.
You went back to the dance music.
Yeah.
What's your best time?
3:15.
Okay, and what?
From like I said, a girl in the back of the pack.
Okay, and do you do anything besides marathons? Meaning, do you do tries? Do you
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did my first
Do that.
marathon.
Yeah, again, one more time. Yeah. Yeah, you're a little too wholesome.
Well, that's
I'm
why
teasing, Denise.
that's why I coach, because I want to share what was given to me in that first finish line, October 30th, 1994. I have chills. I gave myself chills as it changed me. It ignited something.
Mm-hmm.
It ignited like an empowerment engine within me that led to other things that I didn't think I could do. So similar to my sister turning the marathon, making it from superhuman to human, there were a couple girls in my running group. One summer they did the Ironman, but they were just like me. We ran the same pace. We were together like 3 summers, and I did 2 Ironmans, and I'm still afraid of open water. And then
Whoa. Slow
Yeah.
on. You did 2 Ironman.
Yeah.
The swim is 2.5 miles.
2.4.
Okay, 2.4.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you're scared of open water?
I'm still afraid of open water. I'm not as bad as I used to be.
Where
in
was
that.
this?
Wisconsin, which was just last weekend.
You know there's nothing that can happen in open water in Wisconsin as opposed to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Not that anything would happen in Hawaii, but...
Yeah. Well, I actually DNF'd a Ironman.
What's that?
I quit an Ironman swim, my third one, because I just couldn't relax.
Yeah, that's interesting. So my first try...
Yeah.
Now I swim a mile 3 times a week. I've been doing it for 35 years. I got
Wow.
panicky, and about like in the opening part, and I said to myself, I talked to myself while I'm swimming, and I said, "Hey, dummy, you've been swimming for 30 some years." I won't tell everything I said, but I said, "Shut the up.
Yeah.
You can do this." And I realized, I can. I'm still swimming while I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
And I just I calmed myself down. Do you ever have those moments?
I tried to do that in the swim. It was
didn't
actually
work
in
a
wine
lot?
country, so I'm in the Russian River. It's tree line. It's beautiful.
If you're going to quit, definitely quit in the wine country. It's a good
Yeah.
place. Go have a drink and then laugh at the rest of the guys.
Well, the next day we were going wine tasting with other competitors from Chicago, so I turned in my chip and I still did the bike and the run.
Really? It was just, so the water is really kind of...
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's the deal. You will help me get past my 5K, and I'll help you get past a mile in the water.
Okay. I was
Okay.
going to say, you've done the Chicago Triathlon, and I still, I've done 2 Ironmans, and I still won't do the Chicago Tri.
Why?
Because Lake Michigan is like an ocean. It can change at any time.
No.
It scares me, so.
No, I'll get you through this. I have
Okay.
26 things I want to tell you what to do. One of the things I do know, and I always look forward to the marathon, is how it's now almost 50% female. That wasn't true when you started. It was like, I think a third female or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think it's just grown organically. After Bobby Gibb ran the Boston Marathon in 1966, and then Catherine Switzer in 1967, and seeing that women can do it, I don't know. That's just my
Who do you
reason
idolize
for it.
in the kind of long distance running, male or female?
Definitely Bobby Gibb.
Why?
I got to meet her.
Why do you honor her?
So-
or idolize her?
So she was the first woman to run Boston, and at that time, in 1966, the AAU, which I think managed the Boston Marathon, the BAA,
Okay.
they gave direction, and at that time, women were only allowed to compete at a distance of 1.5 miles. And she had applied in January for the April race, and she was denied.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but I feel like
I didn't know that.
we're of similar cloth in that she loves running, and she wants to share it with everyone, and she'll run forever. I won't swim forever, but I'll run forever.
We've established that fact.
So she had even run 40 miles before she did the marathon that year. So she was out in California when she was rejected, but she took a bus like 2 days to get back to Boston. She grew up outside of Boston, and she hid in the bushes. Her parents didn't even want to take her to the start. Her dad thought she was crazy. And she hid in the bushes. The gun goes off. I don't know if it was a gun. And then she ran in a hooded sweatshirt. She was afraid she was going to get arrested. She didn't know what would happen.
What year are
And
we in
she
here?
was only like 21 or 22
What
years
year is
old.
this?
1966. And to do something that, I have chills again, to do something that had never been done at the age of
21.
like your early, I don't know if it was 21 or 22. So she runs the race, and then there's guys around her. I think that's a woman. I think that's a woman. And she's like, it is. And they're like, I wish my wife would run. I wish my girlfriend would run. So I think having Bobby Gibb do it that year, and then Catherine Switzer the following year with an official bib number. But so she's one of my idols, because I can't imagine having the courage to do something that had never been done in the world at that age. Yeah.
Now, what is the history behind London, Berlin, New York, Boston, Chicago, Tokyo?
Yeah.
How did those become the kind of gold standard of marathon running? Given
Very much so. So I don't remember how many years ago it started, but initially it was the Abbott World Marathon Majors. Initially it was focused on the elites, like a competition amongst the elite, who would score the highest across those 6 marathons. And then they started allowing everyday runners to become a part of that, in earning the Abbott World Marathon Major 6-star finisher medal, and it's ginormous.
Why do you think Chicago had so many records set here?
Because it's flat and fast, and there's 1.5 million people cheering for you.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people cheering for you in New York. But,
It's hilly. The bridges are hilly. Central Park is hilly.
So do you think the flatness
Definitely.
and the time of year, October, does that matter?
Yeah.
What year was it that we had Chicago had all the heat wave, that it was really,
I think it was 2007 or 2008.
and that's when, yeah.
Yeah, but really good things came out of that, and
Like what?
that
A lot
after
of
that,
Gatorade.
yeah. Well, after that, Kerry Pinkowski and his team, they started like an alert system that other races have followed. So throughout even the week of the race, registrants are getting notifications of whether it's a
Checks.
red, yellow, green.
Oh, I see. Give me one thing. Do you change your diet as you train? I'm going to do real quick here.
I used to.
Okay.
Before the accident,
what?
I would have spaghetti and marinara,
Carbs, yeah.
really healthy, and now I eat what I want.
Okay. I think after your 100th marathon, you just let it rip, honey. Okay.
Sometimes I have donuts during the marathon.
What do you do then 2 days before, the day before? Do you make any changes to the exercise schedule or anything else?
I usually get a massage
Okay.
the week of the marathon.
Do you do any yoga, any stretching, or anything like that?
No.
Okay, well, you and I have to talk. I'm a big believer in yoga.
I know. Not just for the body, but for the mind.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you looking forward to the Chicago lakefront getting done?
Yes.
So the separate.
Thank you, Ken Griffin. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
what about, hello?
And your work, too.
One of my
I'm
chopped
sorry.
liver around here. Well, this has been Denise. Where we just
sorry.
at? No, I'm
I
joking.
remember
No,
he
Ken.
donated money to the city,
It
too,
was-
right?
no, I'm
It takes a
teasing.
village.
Yeah. Well, it's a big village.
Yeah.
We went Dutch on it, 50-50. No, it's great.
Thank you. No,
it's
I
gonna
mean,
be, we're gonna be
I've
done
been-
for your Thanksgiving turkey trot.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Have you
That's
ever done that?
amazing.
Will you do the whole distance and meet me as I do the last ribbon, and I'll bike right alongside you for the final mile?
I wish I would so do it. I'm going to be in New Zealand running my 103rd marathon.
I don't know if you know
think.
that. So how many do you do a year?
Before the accident, I would just race Boston and Chicago, and now I do them mainly for fun.
I know, but how many a year? About
10 to 12, and I'll travel around the world to do them.
10 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm feeling like a slacker all of a sudden.
No.
All right, that's a lot. Okay, and no knee problems, no lower back problem, no ankle problems.
No.
I want to meet your orthopedist.
Yeah, Dr. Terry Nicola.
Yeah, that's it. Do the shout out. All right, now we're gonna go to the fast section of Chicago. Okay, you ready? This is rapid. Cubs or Sox?
Cubs.
Thick or thin pizza?
Both.
No.
Okay.
Come
Thick.
on. Okay. Lake or river?
Oh, they're tied again.
No.
I love what you've done to the river
Okay,
path.
go.
It's my other gym.
Okay, we'll stick with the river then. Sears or Hancock?
Sears.
Okay. There's you don't get penalized, man. I'm not gonna get to add 3 minutes to your time or something like that. 12-inch or 16-inch softball?
16.
You say that actually, the last 5 people we did go like, really, that was quick. Why do you like 16?
It reminds me of my childhood. We used to play 400 or 500, I think.
Who was in the family the athlete or the kind of physical? But mom and dad?
Mom and everyone, yeah.
How many siblings are there?
I have 3 older sisters and a younger brother.
Everybody does a marathon or a biking or some kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, give me everybody's activities.
Well, they've kind of calmed down in their adulthood, and I'm still trying to get my 2 sisters to do the marathon.
And they haven't done it.
But yeah, they don't really. My sister Debbie, who inspired me to do my first, she bikes a lot. And then my younger brother Mike, he runs a lot.
He runs too.
Yeah.
Denise, thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me. And thank you for the lakefront path. It is wonderful.
No, it's okay.
I've been on it
I'll
since 1998.
make sure that Ken knows you thanked him. Like I had nothing to do with it. No, it's okay. I was just happy to be present, and I'm just teasing you. Denise, thank you so much. Good luck on the Chicago. I didn't know I was supposed to say this, but good luck on New Zealand as well.
I would have been there for the turkey trot with you for sure.
Well, we have a thing every Thanksgiving. Everybody signs up. We pick one charity as a family, and then we 2 or 3 people. My son Zach, his uncle Ezekiel, and one other relative do the 10K. And then some of us slackers who are just happy with 5K do 5K. That's my distance. I don't go. Give me water. Give me a bike.
Yeah.
On running, I'll just jog it.
And
Thanks,
I'll be
Denise.
there when you're ready to do your first marathon.
It's not happening. Not happening until you do your first yoga class.
And the Chicago Tri.
Okay.
All right.
All right. You can swim alongside me.
Okay.
Thanks, Denise.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Chicago Stories with Mayor Rahm Emanuel. You can subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts and tweet your guest ideas using hashtag ShyStories. Thanks for listening.